Hello to all my aspiring adults. You're listening to an Old School Millennial podcast. You have me, Lauren, behind the mic, and here we talk about all the crazy, awkward, embarrassing, and amazing moments on this wild journey to adulthood. I'm so glad you're joining me today. I hope we can help each other out. Let's get into the episode. It's like a conversation, but make it a podcast. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another week of an Old School Millennial podcast. As you heard in the intro, my name is Lauren, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. Now, before I do anything, I want to thank everyone who provided feedback on last week's 2 episodes. If you reached out to me or if you left a review or a comment, really meant the world to me, and to see that so many of you guys liked it and you gave me good feedback on it, that was super cool. If you haven't already, I definitely recommend you go check them out. Episode 1 is called Hard Lessons, and I go through some of the lessons I learned in situations that I'd rather not go back to, but I did to give you guys a lesson, so hopefully you don't have to go through those same things. And episode 2, I finally landed on the title of How to Radiate and Surround Yourself with Positive Vibes. I definitely think that what you put out there in the universe, you get back. So if you put out all the good and positive vibes, then that's what's going to come back your way. So I give you a few tips to kind of help you out with that. And on another note, I'm going to try my very hardest not to say so and every other second, because I know I did that a lot. I know I did that a lot in the first couple episodes, and I mean, it's all a learning curve. That being said, let's get into this week's hashtag of the week. Now, I'm super excited about this one, and it is hashtag music mood. So if you know me, you know that music is a huge part of my life, and I love going to concerts. I love making playlists. I actually spend an obnoxious amount of time making playlists for my 3 followers on Spotify, which I guess I can plug my Spotify. That wasn't really the plan, but if you do want to hear them, my Spotify, I think, is at Roglaur. So at ROGLAUR, and I make a playlist every single month, and then I also make like playlists for different moods. So if I'm in like a really angsty mood, I'll have like a playlist for that, and if I'm really happy mood, I'll have a playlist for that, sad mood, so on and so forth. So if you want to, you can go check them out. I'm also by the time this episode is out, I will have posted my January 2020 playlist on my Instagram page at an old school millennial, and I would have also posted it on Pinterest because I'm kind of getting back into that and it's really fun. So same username at an old school millennial. You can check it out on both of those places, and I think it's about 30 songs that I posted. Some of them are new, some of them are old. I love incorporating throwbacks into my playlist. Like this month, I did a lot of Fun. If you remember them, they're probably like 2012, 2013-ish, maybe 15, but I absolutely love them. I want them to come back, but I put a couple of their songs on the playlist, and then I kind of mix that with some new songs. Like, so much new music came out. When am I recording this? On the 19th, so like the 18th, it came out, and like the new Eminem album, the new Halsey album, the new Mac Miller album, some MKTO, some Jonas Brothers. So I've incorporated those into the playlist as well, and I think it's a really funky mix of songs. Like, it's super eclectic, and that's generally what my playlists tend to be. This one definitely leans to the more like angsty hip hop side, but there's definitely some fun like pump up songs in there. Like, I have Yummy by Justin Bieber. I have What a Man Gotta Do by the Jonas Brothers. So I think there's something in there for everybody. So go check it out on Instagram or Pinterest. And if you like any songs from it or you discover any new songs from it, let me know. I would love to hear. I just think music is really great, and it can help you through so many things. Like, if I'm doing a workout, like a really tough workout, and I put music on, even if it's not a tough workout, honestly, just putting music on helps me get through it, helps me have fun during it. Like all the time, if I'm working out and I don't have music on and I have a rest break, then I just stand there and like sway from side to side and pretend like I'm doing like a little shuffle, when in reality my feet probably aren't even leaving the ground. But if I have music on, then during rest breaks I'm like dancing the whole time, and it's super fun. So it's a way that I'm actually having an active rest break and I'm having fun while I'm doing it. I also, for me, music helps me be really productive. So if I'm at work or when I was in school and I was writing papers or trying to study, then I would listen to music. I definitely take them out because I write a lot now. So when I proofread, I turn off my music because I do find it gets distracting during those times. But while I'm coming up with ideas and while I'm getting that first draft down, music really helps me focus. And then I also think music is good just to like lift your spirits. It can definitely brighten your day. Like if I'm having a bad day and I put on some music that makes me feel like I can get through anything, and I'm definitely a lot happier than I was before. And if I know I have a bunch of stuff to do when I get home, then on the car ride home, I'll listen to like pump up music. And that way, when I get in the door, I'm like ready to go. I feel like I can conquer the world. So I definitely recommend listening to music. It can be very therapeutic, and I find it helps a lot in my day in like many different aspects. I think last year I listened to like, it was like the equivalent of 2 hours of music a day. So definitely love it a lot. And like I said, I'm happy that I get to share some of that with you guys. So check out my January 2020 playlist and all the places I mentioned before and let me know what you think. So I have what I would like to call an adult win to share with you guys today. I finally bought a vacuum, which I know so many of you, especially if you live at home, will take for granted. And if you don't live at home, you probably think I'm a heathen because I didn't own a vacuum up until this point, and I lived by myself for well over a year now. But I never owned one. I had a broom and I would just use that, but there is like a small section of my shoebox that's carpeted. And if anything happened there, I just kind of like swept it up to the best of my abilities and then pretended like it wasn't there or put stuff over top of it if possible. Like, for example, I spilled laundry detergent months ago. I swept it up as best I could, but there was still like a spot where you could see that I spilled the laundry detergent, so I put the heater on it to kind of forget about it. But today I was able to use my brand new vacuum and clean it up. I went out, I bought it. It's like a small, I think it's by Bissell. It's a small 3-in-1 vacuum, it's called. I don't know what the other two things are, but one of them is you vacuum things. And I would definitely recommend, especially if you live in a small place, because it's super easy for me to store. But I went and I bought it, and immediately when I got home, it was like a kid in a candy store. I've never been so excited for anything. Took it out of the box, put it together, and vacuumed my whole place. And I know that kind of sounds extreme, but it probably took me all of 5 minutes because my place is so small. But it was a really great experience. It's so satisfying once you clean something like that detergent spot is no more. I think I will miss her, but it was her time. She had to go. Anyways, I'm really proud of myself. So that's when you know you're an adult, is when you're that excited for a vacuum. And I mean, if anyone would get me a Dyson, I would be the happiest person on this planet. So anyone out there, if you're looking for a birthday gift for me, even though my birthday is nowhere near now, I would like a Dyson. So for today's episode, I've prepared a list of life hacks for you. There's a bunch of different types in here, or categories, I guess you could call it. Although I'm not really going to categorize them because that would be way too much effort. But these are some things that I like to do and that I find have helped me out a lot and I think will help you out a lot. Some of them are more random than others, but let's just jump right into it. So I think something that would apply to most people is having something that will help you stay organized. Doesn't matter what you're doing, school, work, life in general. An agenda is something that you can use to write down everything you have to do and kind of keep yourself organized and hold yourself accountable. But the thing with agendas is, one, you want them to be cute, because if they're not cute, you're not going to use them. Or maybe that's just me. But you also don't want to spend a small fortune on them, which I know that some of them can be. So life hack number 1 is to buy your agenda at the end of a calendar year. So if you buy your agenda in December, January-ish, if you buy like the 18-month ones, then 6 months of the agenda is useless because it'll be from that previous year. So they mark them down like crazy. One of my favorite brands is called Hobry, and I'm pretty sure you can only get it at Indigo or Chapters, but I could be wrong. It's a Toronto-based company. I love supporting Canadian companies, and it's the perfect agenda. It has everything I need, and it has the calendar, like the full calendar at the front of every month, which it drives me insane when they put all of the full calendars at the front of the agenda and all of the days at the back, because then you have to do a whole bunch of flipping, and I just don't enjoy that. So it has the perfect layout. There's space for notes in it. The days are big enough. Everything's great. And I've been buying this, like this year would be like the third or fourth time that I've bought the same planner over again. So I would definitely recommend. But anyways, I buy them in December because they're marked down and way cheaper than if you buy them at like the beginning of that 18th month cycle. So buy your planners at the end of the year. It will save you money. And speaking of keeping yourself organized or holding yourself accountable, take pictures of important notes or business cards or something that you need to remember. There's absolutely nothing worse than one, if you lose something. And I always say I would lose my own head if it weren't attached to my body. So this is definitely a big problem for me. And I take pictures of all of these super important things. And when I was in school, I would take pictures of the notes or pictures of the textbook. So if I forgot my textbook at school, which I did 99% of the time, then I would have the notes I needed to complete the homework. Because there's nothing worse than if you're sitting there and you're actually in the mindset to do work, which for me happens like 1 out of 10 times, and then I don't have what I need to complete it. So that way, if I have it on my phone, at least, it's not like a great way of doing it, but I have all the necessary information. Take pictures of all those important things on your phone. You will thank me later. Life hack number 3, and it's not so much a life hack as for people who can't keep plants alive, which is me. I have a brown thumb. It's that succulents don't need a lot of water and they're super hard to kill. So if you want to add some greenery to your space, but you can barely even keep yourself alive, never mind a plant, then I would definitely recommend a succulent. I have a little one here and it's absolutely thriving, and I water it like once every other week because I always forget to, but it's super resilient. It's near the window, but I don't think it gets direct sunlight because my blinds are never up. So maybe indirect sunlight, a little bit of water, and she's good to go. I'm trying to do these things in a logical order, but I don't really think there is one. Next, I will move on to the power of dish soap. You can use dish soap for anything. And one of the things that I use it for is if I have like a stain, like a clothing stain, then I just put some dish soap on it and I just throw it in the laundry like I would anything else. But instead of the stain solidifying, it helps get it out once I put it in the washing machine. So you can use dish soap for that. You can also, if you mix it with vinegar, you can create like an all-purpose cleaner. That's really good as well. My mom taught me that one. She uses it all the time. And then I also use it just as like a spot stain removal instead of leaving it on the clothes forever. And I do this a lot on my jackets, which kind of ties into my next life hack, which is using, those little face brushes that have like the little silicone pointy things at the one end, and then the actual like brush on the other side. I can post this. I'll try and post all of these on my Instagram stories so you can tell what I'm talking about. But I use that little thing. One, it works really well for your face, but I also use it with dish soap to get like the makeup stains out of the top of my jacket, because I definitely don't leave myself enough time in the morning and I rush and I just throw on my makeup. I don't even let anything dry, and then I throw my jacket on, so I tend to get those like makeup stains. I'm also as pale as the day is long, so my makeup is super, super light, and I only wear black clothing because that makes complete sense. So I tend to get those stains super easily, but I use the little makeup brush, I put some dish soap on it. I can't speak. And I scrub a dub, and it gets the stain out super quickly and like completely. Like there's no residue left at all. So like I said, I don't have laundry in my place, and even if you do, you don't want to be washing your jacket all the time because it's definitely going to mangle the zipper at some point. So use the makeup brush, a little 2-for-1 action, and you can get those stains out. And while we're talking about liquid superpowers, you can also use coconut oil for almost anything. Now, I know this was overhyped probably a couple years ago, but I'm going to bring it back. Coconut oil is amazing and it deserves more recognition. So, one of the things that I use coconut oil for is a hair mask or just mixing it in with my conditioner in the shower. I would really recommend using it for a hair mask. And another total powerhouse is cauliflower. You can use cauliflower for absolutely any type of food, and you don't even taste it half the time. So it's a great way to get your veggies and fiber in without like a strong taste. A couple different ways I like to use cauliflower. I like to rice it and then add it to whatever rice bowl I'm making because like I said, you don't even taste it at all, but you're getting all those extra nutrients in. And then this is something that I learned from my friend Ashley at Plantly Thriving on Instagram. She showed herself using cauliflower in smoothie bowls to make them super thick. And I tried it and I can confirm it works. And like I said, you don't taste it, but you get that super thick Instagram worthy smoothie bowl. So definitely try that out if you haven't already. Hello, everyone. Just one quick interruption from the only person who talks on this podcast. Now, if you're used to the format of podcasts, you may think this is an ad or a sponsorship deal, but joke's on you. I'm not big enough for that yet. Not even close. So that's why I need your help. I want you to stop right now, take a screenshot of the episode you're listening to, go to your social medias, Instagram or Pinterest, that's the only ones I'm on. I don't know how you would do this on Pinterest, but you could try. So take a screenshot, put it in your Instagram story, tag me, I'll repost you, we can talk, it'll be a good time, I promise. So screenshot, Instagram, tag. Thanks, enjoy the rest of the episode. So I need to give an honorable mention to zucchini. It's another one of those foods that you don't really taste and takes on all the flavors of what you're cooking it in. So it's a great way to get extra nutrients in without having to taste it. So recently I've been using zucchini noodles a lot. Now I resisted this before because I was like, there's no way that zucchini noodles are going to taste good in my pasta. And when I have pasta, I just want to eat pasta. Like, I don't care about the carbs. I want all the carbs. I don't want to mix zucchini in there. But it's actually really good and I can't really taste it at all. So I would definitely recommend. I just get like the frozen zucchini noodles. And despite what I thought at first and what most people probably think, they don't turn out to be a complete soggy mess. So definitely recommend. We can stay on the topic of foods for a bit because who doesn't like food? I found for me that every time I cook, I try to cook at least 2 or 3 portions at a time. So instead of doing the whole huge meal prep on Sunday and then by Tuesday you don't want to eat it anymore because who wants to eat the exact same thing every single day? And then once it gets past Tuesday, I find anyways that it's never fresh enough and it's just not appetizing and I won't eat it. So instead of doing that, I just cook for like a couple days at a time. And as I mentioned many times previously, I actually suck at this. So maybe me saying this out loud will help myself as well stay accountable. But I'm going to try and start cooking more. And I would recommend for you as well as myself to make sure you cook at least 1 extra portion, maybe 2, and that will save you time in future days. And even more food. I recently I think this is the best thing that ever happened to me in my entire life. I got a popcorn maker where you put just kernels in the bottom, and I've actually had a couple of these before, so there's like different forms. but this one looks like a carnival popcorn cup with like a lid, and there's a little silicone thing in the bottom. You put the popcorn kernels in, you put it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and it makes amazing air popped popcorn. Couple things with this. One, you don't have to buy the like bags of popcorn, so you're actually saving money that way because popcorn kernels are so cheap, especially if you go to like a bulk store and get them. And you're also saving the environment because you don't have all of that single serve plastic stuff that the popcorn comes in. So that's about all I have for food life hacks. But moving on, this is one of my most genius ones, and it's using a binder clip. Like I said, I'll try and post on my Instagram story so you can see what I'm talking about. But you take that and you clip it on the edge of your bedside table or desk or whatever you charge your phone or laptop on, and then you can slide in the charger, like twist it sideways and slide it through the clip, and then it keeps it there and keeps it from falling down. That's one of my biggest life hacks, and it actually makes a huge difference because then you don't have to fumble over the floor for your phone charger or whatever, or every time you unplug your laptop and it just slides to the ground. That's the most annoying thing. So if you slide it through the little charger things, then you don't have to go fishing around for it in that mess of cords that I know you have by your bedside. I cannot be the only one. And it also helps it look more organized because they don't get into a tangly mess. And I guess that was techie. So tech adjacent, if you put your iPhone, if you put the speaker part of it in a bowl, it amplifies it and you almost have like a little mini speaker. So I used to do this all the time if I was staying somewhere else or like staying in a hotel and I didn't have a speaker, then I would just grab a bowl. Well, I guess maybe not a hotel because where would you find a bowl in a hotel? But I have done this before, and you put your iPhone in there. I would probably work with any phone, and then you have a little speaker. It's great. And another tech adjacent life hack is, I don't know if they're always called this, but it's a phone stand and it's called a fruit stand. That's just a brand name. And I think it's supposed to be funny because Apple and then a fruit stand. I don't know. But they definitely are complete lifesavers. Like I said, I'll try and take pictures so that you can see what I'm talking about. But it's just a little stand that you can put your phone in and you can put it either way. Those are a few tech or tech adjacent life hacks. Moving on, I have a couple more fun life hacks for you. And the first one is travel-sized makeup wipes. Now, I don't care if you actually wear makeup, you don't wear makeup, whatever, you can use these for so many different things. Now, I usually there's a couple brands that make the travel size, like the single packs, but I try and not be totally environmentally destructive. So I just buy like the smaller packs of makeup wipes from, I think the last one I got was Sephora. And they really come in handy because especially if you're like in a makeup store and you're trying stuff out, then you have those little makeup wipes. But also if you're like me and you drink liquids in the car and then you spill them on yourself, then you can use those to kind of wipe. You can wipe it up and then you can wipe it off your hands so your hands aren't sticky forever. So I would definitely recommend those. My last tip for today is to leave your wrinkled clothes in the bathroom. You can hang them up on a hook. I hang them up on the hook behind the door, or I drape them over the towel rack. And then when I'm showering, I just close the door and let it get super steamy. And the steam from the shower takes the wrinkles out of your clothes. It's really the easiest life hack and it doesn't take any effort. Just throw them up there, and then what I do is I throw like 3 or 4 up at a time, and then when the top one's not wrinkled anymore, I take that down and then cycle through them like that, because who has time to steam their clothes? I definitely don't have time to steam my clothes. I'm lucky I get them washed every single week. I don't think it's great for the bathroom because there's a lot of moisture involved in it, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Definitely try that out. So those were all the life hacks I had for you guys today, and please let me know if you try any of them out and if you like them. And please let me know if you have any life hacks, because like I always say, this is a community and we're here to help each other out. So I've provided you with something. Now it's your turn to provide me with something. No, I'm just kidding. But if you do really want to provide me something, you can subscribe to this podcast and give it your honest rating in whatever platform you listen to it. I've submitted to Google Podcasts and it's up there now. So I think I have all of the usual podcast places covered. Now, I feel like I've done this in the past couple episodes, so I'm going to do it again. It's just like a final thought or a little bit of bonus content for you. I talk a lot about putting out in the universe what you want to get back, and maybe that's too general for a lot of people, and I know at the beginning that was way too general for me and it didn't really mean anything. So one quick tip you can do is just set an intention every week or every morning, whatever time frame makes the most sense for you. And just repeat that to yourself a couple times in your head. And then I also find it really powerful to repeat it out loud, because once it leaves your mouth, it quite literally enters the universe. So that's an amazing way to put out into the universe what you want to receive. So for me, I have a couple different things I like to do with this. I like to set an intention or a few intentions every morning. They don't necessarily change from morning to morning too much, but I like to write them down and read them over, and that helps keep them top of mind for me. So I really recommend that you, one, set an intention, and two, have it somewhere or put it somewhere that it's going to stay top of mind for you. I've even seen people put them on your lock screen. You can even just screenshot a note of something and that you make in your phone and set it as your lock screen. It just helps it stay there because we're all busy people. We all have a lot to think about. So sometimes your intentions can get lost in the shuffle of day-to-day life. But if you put them somewhere where you frequent and you're able to see very often, it just helps that keep front of mind. So that just about wraps it up for me this week. I really hope those life hacks were useful for you and that you can implement them in a few different aspects of your life and ultimately makes your life a little bit easier, because that's the goal around here. We want to live our best lives. So make sure you subscribe to this podcast, and if you haven't already, make sure you rate it, whatever your honest rating of it is. Leave me a review. You can always get in touch with me on Instagram at an old school millennial. You can also email at an old school millennial podcast at gmail.com. And you can comment on my photos on Instagram, send me a DM. And like I said, I am on Pinterest as well. And I think it's the same handle at an old school millennial. And I like to just post some of like the positive quotes and artsy stuff and photographs and music, and I'm obsessed with Friends, so I have a whole Friends board if any of you guys like that show as well. So make sure you get in touch with me about this episode. Tell me what you liked, tell me what you didn't like, tell me what you want to hear more of, tell me what you want to hear less of, all the things. So if you haven't already, I definitely recommend you listening to episode 1 and episode 2, mostly because I made them and I want you to listen to them because I'm narcissistic like that, but also because I think there is some really important information that will help you thrive. So that's it from this aspiring adult. Thank you for joining me this week. I truly appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope to see you over on Instagram really soon. And until next week, my friends.
Hey, so yeah, it's me again. I kind of lied earlier when I said I was done, but I screwed up a lot making that episode, and I kind of want to share some of those with you. So hope you enjoy.
And looking for something that makes logical sense. Oh yeah. And another total powerhouse. Another total powerhouse. Holy fuck, that was loud. Sorry. And like I said, once you start putting out there in the universe what you want, you're going to start, once you start putting what you want onto it. So
See you next week.